All right, so starting right off the bat, we have the Threadripper 2990WX, which I know that some people have probably already heard about that. There's been plenty of news surrounding it, but this is AMD's second generation of their top-of-the-line Threadripper processor that has a absolutely insane 32 cores and 64 threads. The base clock is 3 gigahertz, and it can turbo up to 4.2. The thing that's absolutely insane about this...
I've heard them clock up to 6. Is that what you're going to say?
Yes, people have overclocked them up to 6, which is brutal. This thing costs $1,799 in the United States, which that's a lot of money, but take this into consideration. That's less than $2,000 for a 64-thread, 4.2 gigahertz processor, which is
pretty nuts.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely insane. And if you look, I've got a graph here that pulls it up. Okay, here, the current top-of-the-line i9, which is the i9 7980X. I'm pretty sure that's the top of the line. Either way, that's the equivalently priced i9, which is $1,959. This almost doubles the performance. And the i9 costs more.
I love when Intel has to crap their pants, because I always was an AMD fanboy. But the computer I'm using right now is an Intel, because at some point AMD just fell away. And I'm glad they fell away, because this is like the finishing blow in the middle of a video game.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, AMD has a lot more budget now for R&D too. They've really been kind of like going crazy with this whole Ryzen thing. And I remember everyone was like, "Oh, Ryzen's going to be a one-time thing. Just you wait. The second gen Ryzen won't be an improvement." And here they are with the Cinebench R15 results for this new Threadripper 2990WX is a Cinebench score of 5,182 on average versus the i9 7980X, which costs more of 3,393 is its average score. So this is
not even close.
Yeah,
it's not even close.
It blows it absolutely out of the water.
It'd be pretty nuts if Intel came out with something that's even crazier.
Oh, I'd love that. The thing is this is bringing more competition to CPUs.
They're just like, yeah, bye.
Well, this is making the CPU market significantly more competitive, which is kind of great. And I mean, here's the thing with those clock speeds. If your base is 3 and you can turbo up to 4.2, people can game on this chip. I don't know why you would, but
I mean, you could run like 6 instances of Doom on it if you didn't.
More than that, even. I probably haven't mentioned this yet. I'm going to make a video talking about this, but I'm going to be doing the stream differently now. Now the stream is going to be streamed on Patreon. And then we're going to be dividing it into edited episodes to post throughout the week. So the podcast is actually going to have planned subjects now. Ooh, that's great. And we're pulling our stuff together a little bit. So that's nice. Planned subjects. And it's going to be posted several times a week. So
lame.
I think
Planned
it's great.
Lame. You would, Dad.
I'll go on and jump into the next subject, which is going to be the Nvidia RTX cards that were just recently announced. I know everybody's been talking about those. Nvidia claimed that the 2080 was going to have 6 times faster performance than the 1000 series cards, which basically seems to be BS.
Here's the problem with that. You're saying the word performance. What the hell does that mean?
Exactly. Actually, that's the thing too.
Did you know my car has 6 times the performance as a Ferrari? In the air conditioning.
There you go.
6 times more efficiently.
They released graphs, and the graphs didn't show any specific metric. They never said what they were actually testing. They just showed numbers, and they weren't frames. They weren't like, it wasn't wattage. Like, we don't know what it was. But here's the thing. Now, they're entirely basing this off of the premise that we're going to be seeing performance increases in games that take advantage of ray tracing. The problem in this is that to see any performance benefit, games are going to have to start being rewritten to use ray tracing, which to a game developer doesn't sound like a very appealing thing unless Nvidia is sending you a big sponsored deal or something like that. So it seems like kind of a waste of time. And outside of that, the only numbers we have in the real world so far show not a drastic performance increase. And I don't think this is going to be useful to professionals either, because professionals, myself included, where I use After Effects a whole lot for work, I never use ray tracing anymore. I've switched over entirely to Cinema 4D because ray tracing is an outdated technology. We did see a performance increase from the 900 series to the 1000 series. Like the 1060 outperforms the 980 in a lot of games.
Well, I mean, there's always going to be, you know, an increase in performance.
Oh yeah, but that was the first drastic one we'd seen in a while. I mean, like before it was like, you know, the difference between the 700 and 900 series wasn't insane, but the difference from the 900 series to the 1000 series was definitely drastic. Like,
I think they had to make, like, they were kind of being forced to make the jump from good performance on 1080 to good performance on 4K.
And here's another good comment. The big issue with RTX cards is the price. There's no price drop in the post-mining market. And yeah, GPUs and RAM, especially right now, are both stupid expensive. I mean, I just built a computer, and getting a RAM kit, let's say you want 64 gigs of DDR4. Let's go on Newegg and look at prices for that right now. $700.
Oh my God.
Yeah. 847 for like a crucial kit that doesn't have like heat sinks or anything on it. Just we're talking green RAM with little black chips on it. A 64 gig DDR4 kit, 2133 megahertz. Not even the highest speeds available. Not even exceptional speeds. $847, which is ridiculous. All across the board, pricing right now for computer parts is kind of ridiculous. There's no good way to build a PC economically right now. The budget builds are kind of out the window unless you're buying used parts, and even then used prices are getting jacked up because of that.
And availability. That was another big part when like the 1080s came out. Everybody was jumping on them and they were unavailable unless you were buying them on the used market for, you know, double, triple the cost of what they
cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency might be. I'm waiting for like a maximum piece. I used to subscribe to that. I'm waiting for a cover that says cryptocurrency, the death of gaming PCs as we know it, because that's literally what's happening.
Oh yeah,
you can't build one.
Prices are insane right now, and plus, if you look at used cards, half the time you have to wonder, oh, is this used card going to?
Yeah, it's been running 24 hours a day for the last 2 years.
Right. Do I have to worry about reliability issues with this used card? So that's not ideal. We need to find a way to push away from this. And I feel like one of the solutions, and I know GPU companies are never going to do this, but I feel like one of the best solutions would literally be if we could have a way to have cards that were not usable for mining in some way. If we had a way to prevent them from being usable for mining, whether it's through a GPU update or change in architecture or something that made them less usable for mining, then that would be ideal for the gamer side of the market. But I don't think the GPU manufacturers care about that as much because such a large chunk of their profits come from people buying these cards for mining now. So it seems very, very bad for business for GPU companies to want to help the customer right now.
It'd be interesting if I could see a split. Like they already have a split between what's used for like video editing. Like they have video editing cards like the Q series. I don't even know if they have the quad series actually still available, but a while ago they had the quad series available. And that was for video editing and 3D rendering and stuff like that. And then they had the gaming series. So I'd be interested to see if they do a mining series that's specifically for mining.
There are. There's like ASIC miners, and there's lots of cards out there that are made specific. Yeah.
Even if they made mining cards and graphics card, they'd all still be using the same basic core, so it wouldn't make a difference. Maybe they could lessen the RAM or not put the crazy expensive heatsink on it, but it's still going to make every card more expensive. There's just too much demand now because money is in the air.
So now consoles are insane.
The actual device was about the same, and then now the consoles are getting better and PCs are just getting more expensive.
Right.
And there's like less and less reason to game on a PC.
Well,
and I'm a PC guy. I don't even own a console, but I can recognize that now it's becoming like that gap is starting to widen, whereas it was being closed before.
I would like to make a point on that too. Let's say, as it is right now, you can get a console that can do 4K 60 FPS for around, I want to say $400 to $500. But I mean, take that into consideration. PCs have kind of moved more in the direction of like 144 hertz gaming and things like that. So as far as like what was the leading edge at the time of most 1080p consoles was 4K 60 FPS on PC. Now the consoles are moving into more of the 4K 60, and PCs are moving more towards 144 hertz QHD or even above that, pushing beyond the limits of 60 hertz on 4K. So PCs are still ahead as far as like.
I'm not saying they're not better. Just price to performance is no longer equal.
Absolutely. Now consoles are the way to go.
Oh, you're playing 1080p 60, but you're playing, interlaced. That's all gone now. Now it's just computers are everything and everywhere, and who cares?
Right. And if you want to have
spend to get 4K 60 FPS, because my computer can't play games at 4K 60 FPS.
Right. If you want to have a good gaming experience, a console is a much cheaper way to get a higher quality gaming experience these days. If you want 4K 60, you're going to have to spend, several $1,000s now on a computer, like at least a $2,000 computer to be able to get 4K 60 FPS, not counting, or maybe including the monitor. I'm not entirely sure there, but still, like that's not easy to do.
I spent nearly $2,000 when I redid my computer 2 years ago. I got my 1080, my GTX 1080, right before there were no GTX 1080s. Like, I got it, and I'm like, oh, this one's in stock. Nothing else came back in stock ever. Everything went to crypto mining. Bitcoin hit 17,000, and it was done. I literally snuck in under the radar.
Yeah, I mean, I recently built a PC with a 1080 in it, and I do 144 hertz with that, but it's like, still, I feel like that would work 4K 60, but like this computer in general was still not cheap, and I feel like it costs about a quarter of the price to get a console that can do 4K 60 now, which is genuinely impressive. I mean, if you're building a PC for, $499, $500, you're not going to be getting anywhere near the same quality level experience now.
Oh no, you're not even a motherboard, a case, and a power supply is going to put you about $400 for a good. All those things in good nick.
You'll have to go integrated graphics or an old processor, an old graphics card, or maybe an APU, and then it's going to be you're running everything in 1080p at medium or low.
Well, what does the RTX mean for the 1080 cards? Are those going significantly down, or are they still going to stay kind of where they are because they boosted the price, it seems?
Well, as it is, it doesn't look like the price of 1080s have changed much, because the hype of the RTX cards is kind of sinking. Everyone's kind of seeing them now and being like, okay, well, these don't look as exciting as we thought they were. There's a lot of skepticism, and as a result, everyone's still interested in the 10 series cards right now. Because there's nothing on the market right now that encourages people to buy these RTX cards. Anyone buying an RTX card is doing so on faith that there may be games that may perform better on the RTX cards. And no one these days, I mean, look at the gaming community.
We don't have any solid performance graphs yet, right?
I think there are a few. I'll have to look and see if I can find anything.
I would trust that right now.
Yeah, I mean, with this said, look how many times the gaming community has been burned on the idea of promises. Look at No Man's Sky and look at everything it promised. Look at all these other games that are promised so much and nothing's been delivered. Look at the times in the past where things have been promised and nothing's been delivered, and they're expecting people to buy these GPUs on the promise that there are going to be games developed specifically for this type of rendering engine and this type of technology. And I don't think anyone's having it. I think everyone's sick of it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe it'll go somewhere, but
I have a feeling if we revisited this topic every month, nothing would change for about 2 years.
I mean, I just built this computer.
You cut out a little bit. What did you say?
18% performance increase from the 1080 Ti to the 2080 Ti.
That's quite a bit. I mean,
for double the price. I'm pretty sure, aren't the 2080 Ti's like $1,000 right now? Almost.
Well, the 1080 started out like $800-900 in the beginning too.
Yeah, but you can get a 1080 Ti for like $600 now, like brand new. The 1080 in my computer, I want to say we got for like $490. And I built this computer like a week or two ago. Now, my work helped me pay for it because I use this for work, but that's a very big price difference for that performance number, for that performance
metric. That's a lot for like a card though. I mean, that's almost as much as a console.
Yeah, no,
the whole thing.
Yeah, the whole thing costs more than a console. I mean, if you're not buying a 4K monitor, it costs as much as a console and a monitor. If you're buying a TI card, like if you're buying the 2080 Ti, that's enough for a console and a 4K 60 hertz monitor, and probably a good pair of headphones. We're talking just a graphics card here. We're not talking about a full computer, which is kind of insane.
I wonder if we might be seeing like laptops be a little bit more relevant in the gaming industry now.
Yes. Yeah. I absolutely believe so, because my last laptop was an absolute beast, and now Nvidia's building laptop GPUs that are no different from their desktop GPUs. There's no longer mobile chips for the most part. And if there are mobile chips, they're completely separate, but like they're 1070, 1080, honestly, stuff like that.
If you're going to play it on the bus, I don't mind taking performance hit. I would if I had to get another computer to go like to LANs or go out with it, if I just plugged it in and I can get full performance, that's fine. I don't care about the limitations of, it's on a battery. I just want a computer flat enough to go in a backpack that I could go somewhere and set it up, and it has a monitor. I
mean, one of my best friends, he has a computer that's barely thicker than my phone, like maybe like twice as thick as my little S7, and it has a 1070 in it and a 6-core 12-thread i7, 16 gigs of DDR4, and he plays on a 144 hertz display with it. But here's the thing, like computers like that, those are affordable now. You can get those computers, a computer with like, a 1060 or 1070 and a 6-core i7 for like $1,200, $1,300, $1,400. That's way cheaper than a desktop right now, and that comes with a 144 hertz monitor. So laptops are becoming an economic way to get performance, which is crazy because it always used to make so much more sense. Just buy a part to build a PC. That used to be the cheapest way to go. And laptops were always like twice the price, and now things are headed in this direction. It's everything in computers is ass backwards right now.